Hello everyone again. Today we're going to be going over the absolute hardest to capture tower in the game. Sometimes even if it's not even sieged up. It's just that hard to capture because of where it's placed in relation to both Overwatch over here and the keep right there. It's also got lots of proximity problems in the sense that there's not a lot of good fighting space here, which would tend to favor the people with the tower. So let's jump right into it, and you can see this time I actually got a fully upgraded tower here. I'm on my DDLA today, and on once again on Seafarer's Rest. I've built some regular siege just to keep it cheap on me because I'm not exactly rich at the moment in the game. But you should always, especially in the case of ACs, you should always use a superior because it just does that much more pain to the enemy. But for the demonstration purposes, I just threw the regulars down. Also because it's about midnight central time zone in America, which means these are not going to get refreshed once I leave, so they're just going to despawn anyways. So, okay. Go ahead and start off with it. Obviously the cannon. Ooh, some deso. Okay, cannon. Now this is not really the primary defensive siege here, but it's definitely useful. Obviously, you got lots of choke here. It's pretty hard to avoid this. A lot of range on it. You can hit the edge of a fight over here if they're hitting the back of your keep. You'll be able to get the edges of it, although you should probably be actually out in the fight helping, because chances are you're only going to get a few people that way. There is a recently used spot that I've been seeing on the underside of this bridge. This cannon can hit that quite well. I would probably say if you're in the tower, the cannon is the best thing to hit that spot. Otherwise, Treb right up in here somewhere would be the best to hit that spot. It's not that spot is more defensible in terms of putting your offensive siege down there. It's more sneaky. It's harder to spot. People will still hear it like they would hear any other kata. You can I'll just hop down here real quick and you kind of put it right up in here, and the splash will hit this wall right here. One of those kind of sneaky things in the game, kind of like the Jerifer's Tower backdoor. But the cannon is probably the best if you're in the tower to take care of that, and you should be able to hit it with a splash of the cannon and be gone pretty fast. Or the Treb up here, once it's noticed, the Treb will be able to take it out. And moving right along here. In the past, I've mentioned putting these ACs kind of down in here, but this has a nice little lip coming back right here that you can make use of. I'll go ahead and show you. One of the things I like to talk about too is when you're interacting with the siege in a tower or keep, your placement of your body matters a great deal. I'm loading up on the +5 there. As does having a +5 on an upgraded tower like this. It helps you build siege a lot faster. But your placement on these things when you interact with them helps a great deal. So if you notice, when I interact right here, I can get a pretty... this isn't the best spot for this AC to hit, but you can see I get just the edge of this and it doesn't really get over that. And I can't really get anything out this way. But if you scoot all the way over right here, see plenty of space to get the rams and hit the people stacked on the gate. With that in mind, in this case, this AC is positioned so that the AC survives better. It will be might be able to get hit with splash from meteor shower, Dragon's Tooth can hit this from the Scepter 2, on fire. But chances are you're gonna take more damage than the AC will, and you just be ready to hop off of it and heal, or hope someone can res you up real quick or whatever. Now, another example here. Let me get up right and close onto it. You notice you can't hit jack squat with this thing. Maybe over there when they're pushing in. But if you move out farther, and you get right on the edge of it, it too has fantastic targeting capabilities for on the gate, as well as you can actually get a view of the Lord Room here. Oil is pretty obvious. It's usually useless. You'll die in the process of using it, or you'll take lots of damage unless you have the reflect bubble, which even then is only a brief respite. I placed this one more as a not so much as a common placement for this one, although it does cover obviously the gate really well, and move out a little bit. And definitely for this caterwall, it covers it really well. As well as right here, this is the back caterwall. It probably gets catted down the most. This is a great spot for this one to block people from coming in this way. You can just rain hell down on them when they try to push in, and one of those bag producer locations. And here we got the mortar. The mortar for this tower is probably one of the more useless mortars in the game. Sorry, I got my dog barking. You can't really, like, if they put a treb down in here, which I've seen on the NA servers a few times, you can hit there, but typically they just don't even bother if they're spotted, because usually if they're laying back there, that means they're spotted, which means they're going to get a Zerg response, which means that they might as well just leave, because there's no way they're going to get into this fortress of a tower. So that's probably the one use for this mortar, other than the skill 5, which could hit. I don't actually have it on this account. It would be able to hit the kata spot down here pretty easily and do some damage to the katas, knock people back. Same thing with this AC. This is a good example of the outcropping stair thing here. You put it back in a meteor shower, will have a very hard time of hitting this. This AC will not go down easily. And you can see you can hit the walls along here, and more importantly, if I position myself a little bit better, you can see that I can hit over here too. This is also a good example of using the ramps as a blocking device. They will be able to Dragon's Tooth this. If they can get a target on this AC, they will be able to Dragon's Tooth it. It's close enough. The splash will hit it. It'll take probably 10 hits of the Dragon's Tooth to knock it down, so it won't go fast, but they can damage it. And I actually sometimes go around to towers and clear siege with Dragon's Tooth myself, just by myself, and won't even notice. The other day I took out the door treb here at Cloven by standing kind of against the cliff wall right here. And I had the Deso blob run by me twice without noticing me, and I had to go. I didn't see if we took the tower later, but just to give you an idea of what Dragon's Tooth could do to your siege, you got to be careful. But like I said, this is another good example. Look how far that reaches between you and the AC. You always want to use that to the best of your ability, whether it be standing closer for a better view, or standing farther away for a better defense on yourself, if you're squishy. Well, go ahead and come up here. Now you get a pretty good view of the cata spot here. You see, this AC is really hard to get down from below, but you can see it's just, you can hit anywhere down here, pretty far out too. Look how far out that goes. So this AC, an AC right here, it can really go pretty far back too. So meteor shower might be able to splash it a little bit, but it's a lot of people don't even learn to look up there. So you can just rain hell on them and they'll have no idea where it's coming from, because you'll have a better view, obviously. So this is a pretty important AC spot right here. It also gives you a decent, you can see on the choke there on the stairs when they come up, because this is one of the things about this tower. It's a very long process to get up to the Lord Room, similar to say like Wild Creek has a long road in Southwest Tower on the Borderlands. You got to come through here and up in here, and the same AC fire can hit all on this spot, and you got to go through it extra long. And then you obviously got to push all the way up into here, and even then you see have some ACs over there, as well as a neat little one right here that can all hit in that Lord Room. So this is one of the reasons this is a very defensible tower. This AC is pretty straightforward. You just target the gate. There's not aside from defending once they push in here. There's not a whole lot of use to it other than being on that gate. And all along in here is prime place for any kind of siege, really. Ballistas, ACs. You'll see I have a treb over here. I'll get to that in a second. And this one's kind of the same as the other one. It's not for here. Replace myself here. But look at that. Look at that view on that gate right there. You could wreck so much, so much damage down in all of this area. This is probably the best spot for an AC for that door to hit the personnel, because you can see me all the way over there. And it would be a good spot to get a cripple on them, so you can keep them in the AC fields. Okay, and I'll hop on down here to the one I was on the depot. There's lots of places. You could put this pretty much anywhere on this depot. You want to put it tucked behind here so they can't hit it through the gate, so they don't see it through the gate. You want to try to be as stealthy as you can with it. You can even put it down here if you can get a good view on the gate. But if it's right here, they can't really see it through the gate. And you also got to be careful. There's a, see it says no line of sight. You got to be careful where you place it, because ArenaNet trying to fix their arrow cart problems kind of put in a sort of mini line of sight thing, and it doesn't really always work, and it tends to mess up legitimate shots more often than not. But apparently this is one of them. The AC itself, it's based on the AC's location itself, but anywhere in here can, and even on this back lip is probably better. But you can, like I said, you can hit. There we go. So you can hit in the Lord Room pretty well. You can just rain hell down over there, and they're not likely to see you until they're up in there, already eating the damage from it. And if you're on a sup AC and you're raining in one spot like that, you're gonna drop a lot of people really fast. Okay, moving on. We got our trebs here. This is your basic door treb. You can see it hits dead on there. Pretty obvious. The weakness being that if the commander knows what he's doing, he'll lay an AC down on the outside here. I've mentioned this in other videos. Kind of right back in here, right over here. So you can see it. If you got a good eye, you can kind of see it back there. And you can hit it with the AC over the gate, and oddly enough, the line of sight thing doesn't work there. So this will be down pretty quickly if you use this. But more often than not, the commander won't put that down, especially because it's EB, and they're always the brightest on EB. So that's where this store trap comes in. It's a little bit better placement in a sense that you can see that the splash will get most of this out here. If there's a ram right in here, it might not splash it, but everything else, any normal placement of rams, it'll definitely get. And there's no way that they're going to get this with an AC. It's unless they're zoom hacking over the wall here. So this is always a good one. And let's go ahead and do a. You don't have to put any power into it either, so you can see where it kind of gives you an idea of where the damage is. So you can see there's a little bit of space there. But that's probably a better placement in general for the treb. The second that you start trebbing that, chances are you're going to create orange swords, or soon after, which means your Zerg will see it. Which means all the people that are sitting nice and AFK up in the keep up there will like, oh well, maybe I should go help out, and they'll go hop on a treb and get some bags and for doing not a whole lot. Okay, let's go back up here to this other treb that I have. One of the great things about EB is the ability to use a siege in a tower or a keep to defend nearby towers or keeps, and this is just the same way. And this treb right here at half power will hit right in front of the gates. So if they have any rams down there on either of the two double gates, they're pretty much screwed from this treb. Oh, oops, that's it. Go ahead and fire here. And here comes in. You see it kind of hits in there, maybe a little bit more power when we get on the gate. But that will destroy the rams really quickly and definitely notify anyone on map that people are there if you hadn't told them already in chat or in TS. It's also really good for draining supply in all that compact area there, and you don't have to change a whole lot of power or direction to hit multiple areas in here. And I often see when I run in these towers, 2 or 3 trebs up in here, especially from servers like Kodesh and JC. There'll be just like tons and tons and tons of siege up in this spot. Okay, I'm gonna go on and head over here to bear with me a second.
Currents flow by I channel the flames.
Stack up my swiftness because I'm lazy and don't want to do it later. Now, like I was saying, these towers are so close together, you can lay siege in them to protect other towers. Not so much the case with Mendens and Anza, the other 2 red towers. You can hit stuff from on Anza from Mendens, I believe, in the back part of the mortar. Let's see if AC might have despawned. Yeah, it did. I'll just go ahead and describe it. If you place an AC kind of right in here along the edge, like say you're the scout for this tower or something, and you can't, there's a lot of tribes over there. Someone really sieged up this tower. And you can't, leave to get out of the fight, so you have to stay on the tower to protect it while they're fighting over there in case another server comes along and decides they want to try and sneak it. You can put an AC anywhere along in here, and it will hit most of this area right in here. I was testing it out earlier just to be sure. If you have the not the increased radius, but the that right there. Yeah, the increased radius, where it kind of jets around and stuff as you fire. You'll notice when you're under the AC fire, you'll notice the red circles kind of going everywhere. That one will get pretty much all of the gate, and you'll be able to get most of the rams here, maybe not any up in there. But you could protect the gate and this wall right here, and it kind of goes right into here somewhat, so you can, if there's any katas right in here, you can definitely protect those. Get over to that. This is something I just found out today, just kind of derping around. You can only really get over here with, say, like I just did with Ride the Lightning, or an NG with rocket boots. There might be some other skill I'm not thinking of at the moment that can do it from other classes. But this is if you capture Overwatch and you want to take on Veloka, this is a little bit safer spot to siege from if you can get people up here. Obviously, you're not gonna. Lightning Hammer might be able to get you over there. I'm not sure. It's a long distance. Like Ride the Lightning is a 1200 jump, so it's that's what lets you get over here with it as an Ellie. So I don't know if the Lightning Hammer can get you that far. But this has a nice ability to ballista any katas down that they might have put over there for laughs, basically. I wouldn't really expend a whole lot of effort putting siege up here. I thought it was just kind of funny. I noticed earlier today, and there's no way up here that I know of besides that jump. And you can't break out of the map, so it's not. I wouldn't call it a glitch either. And I don't think you might be able to get Ride the Lightning over that. I think you'll fall too quickly though. But I mean, you can't get to anywhere that's other than to place this siege. And only a few people can get there, so I wouldn't really think of it as a glitch or as map use. Let's go ahead and port to the keep. Oh, keep's contested. This should be interesting.
As fast as the wind. Currents flow by my will.
Someone in my guild got a nice horn. Okay. Apparently there's a golem out here. I must have killed it. There's too many people out here to let it get through. Okay, we'll move on over here to cover the last bit of defensive siege I want to talk about. This mortar right here can hit, I think it falls down in there, but it definitely hits all this stuff over here. I think it goes over the kata spot right here. The good spot for killing that is either down on the ground here or farther back, because you can kind of thread the needle a little bit with it. And just as the splash from the kata will hit this wall, the splash from the trev will hit the kata. And then there's this spot right here. You always see trebs and katas here. A kata placed right in here with just a tap. You just pressing real quick on the spacebar. Will land right exactly on the gate and kill any rams that you have there, as well as play ping pong with anyone who wants to stand there. You can also put a treb over in here. I mean, it's all placement of where you want to put these things, but generally up in there is safer because it's zergs don't get there very often, so the trebs will stay longer. Okay, now when it comes to attacking Veloka, I would say 95% of the time that Veloka's flipped, it's because the defending zerg is somewhere else distracted. Like, say maybe they're defending a keep and a second server comes along, or a Havoc team comes along and takes it. Or it's the middle of the night like this on EU servers, and there's just no one there. Earlier tonight while I was sieging this up, some Kodash came along put some catas down, and I just grabbed an AC and killed the stuff so I could get back to my work. But rams, probably not very useful here, just because you can be hit from up there and anything in this tower, and it's a really tight spot to be in, and not a great place to be in general. So if you get spotted, rams will get down fast. Typically, if it does go to rams, it's by, you know, like 6 or 7 rams thrown down, and it's just gone so fast before people can react. I mentioned earlier this cata spot right here. You can place it all the way up in there, or obviously you can place it down here and kind of splash up there. This cata wall, close catas on this is going to have the same problem, or at least similar problems to what you have rams here. You got Ogre Watch back there, and keep there to hit it. So you probably, if you're going to use that, if you're going to hit that wall, you're probably going to have the catapults tucked in back here. The problem with that, there's probably going to be lots of siege, like ballistas and stuff up in ACs that can hit all down here. So you got to clear the siege first, and that tends to notify the enemy that you're going to attack it, and you'll get a response from the Zerg before that you can clear it down. The mortar shot probably lands in here right at the earliest. If you can AoE that mortar down, and you know you're scouted, but you're determined to take this, Trebs from way back here, the only thing that can take this down would be the mortar, or if they have any other Trebs up in there, or ACs up in here in Ogre Watch. So typically when you have Trebs put in here, you already have capped Ogre Watch, so you don't have to worry about people AoEing down on you. Anywhere in here is great for catas. Obviously, you're only going to have to really defend from Ogre Watch. Trebs from up here can hit it, but it's less likely. Probably the most opened thing, aside from when you karma train across these towers, is this wall right here. Off the top of my head, it's the only wall I can think of that actually has something over it when you kill it, which you know, in the beginning of the game made people not realize it was a breakable wall. The AC I was talking about earlier, if it's up here, there's not a whole lot you can do. Let me go and put a staff on.
Fury rising.
You can meteor shower it, but it's really difficult to notice it's even there, so you have to figure out where the AC fire is coming from. If it's far enough back, you won't see it, probably in time. And even then, if one meteor shower does not kill the AC for whatever reason, then you're going to be waiting a while until you can do it again, and your siege is going to take lots of damage, and you're going to take lots of damage. So it's just, you know, all these things leading up to a really tough tower to take. Obviously, if you cap Ogre Watch, you can throw down a ballista up here, and if you remember back to when I was up there before, let's save some time here, you can hit pretty much anything all along the wall up into the Lord Room from that spot. You can't really hit anything back up in here. It's too far out of distance to get a target, but then you don't really need it as much there either. Most of the stuff you just need to get ACs off the wall here, or the mortar, or the cannon. The cannon might even be out of range. Same with the keep. One of the other almost karma train-esque ways of flipping this is to have to cap this keep first. Quite often the keep is more. It's easier to capture this keep, this red keep, than it is to capture Veloka itself, because all the stuff that you can put up here to defend in this spot in here. So often you'll see when you finally cap this keep and the red team is demoralized, that they lost their keep. You throw maybe a kata or a treb up there, and you just start letting it go at it on this thing, and you hit the walls of the gate. And really, the only way that could stop it is if they put a treb over here in Overwatch. But then, you know, you should be seeing them. If you're paying attention, you should see them getting ready to do that and be able to turn roughly in time to stop them. In terms of clearing siege, this is one of those great Dragon's Tooth spots right here. You can get a lot of stuff back here, all those ACs that you won't see them until someone's on them, and you can kind of click around in here while you hold down like control, and you should be able to target it, and you'll hit the ACs with the splash from Dragon's Tooth. Obviously, you could, in theory, use trebs anywhere back in here, but why would you if the keep's right there? You're just asking to get jumped on. Okay, so well, that's it for Veloka for the day. I spent quite a bit of time actually setting this up, so I'll probably only do one tonight. If you have any recommendations or things I might have missed, please put them in the comments, and I can update it and perhaps make an updated video or something on it. Thank you for listening, and I hope it was helpful.